Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome to my channel. I am Jamie Beth. Today I'm going to show you my entire palette collection. I'm going to give you a quick preview of the palettes that we're going to go over, and then I'm going to just jump right in and start showing you all of my eyeshadow palettes. Okay, here's a little preview of the palettes that we're going to go over today. I have a lot of palettes in these little clear totes, and then I have this bag that I use, well, it hangs on the back door of my bathroom, and these usually have the palettes that I use most. Here is two more totes of palettes. Okay, so first up is my Colourpop collection. So I did kind of organize these palettes in collections because I do have a lot of the same brands. And if you guys want to see the declutter video that I did just a few months ago, I will link that in the description below as well. So the first thing we're going to show you is my She's Got Solstice palette, and this is what it looks like on the inside. A lot of gorgeous pinks and mauves and a little bit of like corally colors in here. This is just a gorgeous palette. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites. Here is another oldie but goodie. This is the Colourpop Double Entendre palette. This is a great little kind of warm tone neutral palette. I am gonna go kind of quick on these. I'm just showing you what I have, and I'm not gonna talk too much about each one because, you know, this will be a really long video if I did that. This is my Smoke Show palette, and I believe it's now called Blowing Smoke. It's no longer called Smoke Show. I got this palette right when it first came out with Colourpop, but I do believe the name has changed. But the black and gray shades are still exactly the same. They just changed the name from Smoke Show to Blowing Smoke. The next one up is my Just My Luck palette. This is a green toned palette. It has some beautiful green shades in it. I just love these Colourpop Color Story palettes. Colourpop has a really good formulation, and I really enjoy all of their little 9-pan palettes. So I'm going to show you some more of what I received. I know a lot of these, you guys are going to be seeing a lot of new palettes that weren't in my declutter video because I did just receive these. I know these aren't brand new palettes just out, but they have been on a wish list. And I did receive a lot of new palettes from family and friends this Christmas season. And this next one, I'm so excited that I have. This is the Honey palette by Colourpop. And here are, see, I haven't even, it's so brand new, the little filler is still in there. But these are some beautiful yellow shades, and I cannot wait to play with this. Next one up is Orange You Glad, and you guys guessed it, they're a bunch of orange colors. Again, see, these are brand new. I haven't even opened them yet. So here are a bunch of beautiful orange shades. Again, I can't wait to play with these. They're such cool little palettes. And there's always sales going on with Colourpop, so there's always a chance to get something for, you know, less than what it costs. This is Main Squeeze, and this is the strawberry or reddish colored palette. And again, these all came in a bundle, so this was part of that bundle. Here is the Blue Moon palette, and this is what that one looks like on the inside. A bunch of gorgeous blue shades. I just love blue eyeshadow. I don't know what it is about blue. I always drawn to blue eyeshadow. And this one is It's My Pleasure, and this is, you guessed it, little purpley and lilac shades. Aren't they gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I just love. Again, Colourpop has these little 9-pan palettes in every single color that you can think of. And this is one of my favorite Colourpop palettes. This is the Going Coconuts palette, and this is just kind of a nudie palette. It's perfect for day and night. I just absolutely love it, and that is Going Coconuts. Another one that is one of my favorites is Baby Got Peach, and I'm sure you can, as soon as I get it open, guess what colors are in here? It's peach shades. This shade down here is the one I probably use the most on my lid. All of these colors are absolutely gorgeous. That is Baby Got Peach. The next Colourpop palette is this one. I love this one. This is just a bunch of pressed glitters. Aren't they gorgeous? So if you want to add an extra little sparkle to your eye, these are absolutely fabulous. Just be careful putting glitter on your eye. I always say that anytime I talk about glitters, just be careful because you do not want that glitter in your eye. It can scratch your eye, something fierce. The next palette I'm going to show you is this one. It's the So Jaded palette. Now, I do believe they still sell this one on Colourpop's website. I totally recommend you purchase this one. This has a bunch of beautiful shades in it, and you can create so many gorgeous looks. This is just such a well-made palette. The next one is, and you can tell it's pretty beat up, this is my Bare Necessities palette. This is just a go-to if you are a neutral kind of person. This is the palette for you. As you can see, I've made a complete mess of this palette. I really need to clean this up. This is kind of embarrassing. But this has a bunch of beautiful nude shades. You can create day to night looks with it. It's great to travel with. Sometimes I just take this palette with me when traveling. It is such a great buy. And this again is the Colourpop Bare Necessities palette. Moving along to my Jeffree Star palettes. I only have 2 of them. I'm not really purchasing any new Jeffree Star things. Just these are they're beautiful palettes. They're like, the packaging is so cool. However, it's not easy to travel with, and I can get a lot of these colors, which I love, in other palettes where I can, you know, take them with me. This is very, very bulky to travel with. I might actually depot this palette and make another palette because there are only a few shades here, like this blue one right here that I really, really love. The rest I don't really use as much. Again, there's just, you know, I don't know. I think it's more so because it is a bulkier palette that I don't use it as much as I used to, because I can get these shades other places. So maybe I'll do a depotting video and make my own little miniature palette of the shades that I know I'm going to use. So this is the Blue Blood Jeffree Star palette. And this one is the Blood Sugar palette. Again, it's not as bulky as the Blue Blood palette, but it is bulky. And there are a lot of beautiful shades in here, just like the other one. But I do only use a few of these shades. Actually, these 2 palettes I use mostly when doing Halloween looks. So I don't know, maybe I'll keep them in there because I really only use them for Halloween type looks, because these are some very unique shades in this palette and in the Blue Blood palette, but I don't really use these on a daily basis. But I don't want to declutter them because I really do like them. There is this cute little palette by Rimmel. Rimmel makes beautiful palettes. A lot of their palettes are dupes for the Naked palettes. They are very well made, they're very inexpensive, and I do love them a lot. Getting more into Fenty beauty products. I love the foundation. I love the eyeshadows. I love a lot of the products that I've tried from Fenty. This is just like a cute little nudie palette. It's a 6-pan palette. There's a bunch of these with a bunch of different cool shades. I think the formulation on them is wonderful, and they're of course easy to travel with because they're teeny weeny. So I love that about them. I do love buying the mini versions of big palettes. Can't beat this formulation. I really love the Fenty Beauty formulation. We're gonna go into my Huda Beauty palettes. Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes are some of my favorite, and I will show you the ones that I have. This is the Mauve Obsessions palette. Again, you have some really unique like red shades and mauve shades in here that I don't have in other palettes. I love, love, love this dark red shade in the corner. I do think that, again, this is a great formulation. The next one up is this Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions palette, and there is what that one looks like on the inside. I just want to kind of show you guys. Here is the Mauve Obsessions and the Ruby one. Now this shade in the Mauve Obsessions is a much deeper red shade than this one. These palettes work really well with each other. I can create a lot of beautiful looks with them, and they are some of my favorite palettes because I'm always drawn to these like kind of pinky, reddy, mauve type of shades. I love those. I love purples. I love yellows. Actually, I love pretty much every color of the rainbow, but these, you can make a lot of great little palettes. Again, they're tiny. You can travel with them. Obsessions palettes are so well made. I just love these. There is another, this was actually the first Obsessions palette that I purchased. This is the Coral Obsessions palette, because I am again drawn to corally colors and yellow colors. I think they really look nice on me. I love this shimmer shade in the corner here. I love that on the lid. This is again a wonderfully made palette. This is the Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions palette. Next up is one of my newer palettes, and I did talk about this palette in other videos. This is the Huda Beauty Khaki Haze palette. Here it is. It's just a nice little nude palette. These shimmer shades are like amazing. I just love them. You can do a day to night look in this. It is such a good everyday go-to palette. Now the next one is, this is the Rose Gold Remastered palette. Let me see if I can get it open. There we go. You can see I use it a lot. Has another bunch of beautiful like rosy shades in it. Now, instead of purchasing this one, I would purchase the Ruby and the Mauve Obsessions palettes, because a lot of those shades are in these that are very, very, very similar. Instead of purchasing this bigger palette, I would definitely get those two smaller palettes. All right, and next up is this adorable Beauty Bakery palette. I believe this is Beauty Bakery. Yep, Beauty Bakery palette, and this is their Breakfast in Bed palette. And this is a newer palette that I received, I believe, in BoxyCharm. And as you can see, all of my favorite type of colors. These are some beautiful, like mauve, there's lilac, there's some neutral shades in there. You can create a really pretty look. Next up are my Juvia's Place palettes. Again, this is one of my favorite brands. And the first one that I want to show you is the Juvia's Place chocolate palette. Here is what that one looks like. I love these dark shades up top. You can totally create a nighttime look with the top and a daytime look with the bottom row. Beautiful palettes. Again, they're small, they're easy to travel with. Formulation is excellent, and I really highly recommend these little 6-pan palettes. The next little palette is in the same family as the other one. This is the Nudes palette from Juvia's Place, and again, look at these cute colors. They're so pretty. This middle one I use a lot as a transition shade with my eyeshadow looks. I do love this one down here if you want to go a little bit deeper. These shimmer shades are beautiful. I haven't tried this shade down here yet. This is kind of almost like a mustardy color. Really interesting shade for a nude palette, but all the rest of these shades I have used and I do love. Next one up is this one. This is the Coral 3 palette, Nubian 3 Coral palette. And I don't know if they make this palette anymore. I'm going to check that out, because I do want to buy this one again, because as you can see, I hit pan. This is my very, 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 very favorite shade. I put this on my eyelid, and then I just kind of deepen up the outer corners with a darker shade. All of these colors are gorgeous. This is by far one of my favorite palettes that I own, and I do want to see if they still make these so I can get another one. Hopefully they do. Another fave of mine is the Warrior palette. And again, beautiful giant pans here. It's a 9-pan palette, and it just, I love this dark shade in the corner. The shimmers are wonderful. As you can see, I use this one a lot as a transition shade. Great palette. This is the Warrior palette. I know they've come out with more Warrior palettes, but this is the original one, and this is really the only one that's called to me. One of my favorite colorful palettes is the Juvia's Place Masquerade palette, or Masquerade Mini palette. Look at these colors, aren't they beautiful? All of these, the first 2 rows is awesome. I did break one, so that is why that is missing. But great little, you can do daytime and a fun, colorful nighttime look if that is something you're into. But these shades are absolutely fabulous. I did do a Easter look with the top row shades, I believe, or well, actually it was like this purple, blue, and that pink. If you guys want to see that video, I will link that down below as well. But this is the Masquerade Mini Palette by Juvia's Place. Another one of my favorite brands. This is Natasha Denona. Natasha Denona makes these cute little 5pan mini palettes. These are awesome. The thing with these though is you can get almost these same colors in the e.l.f. quads. I've noticed a lot of similarities between these specific little 5pan palettes and the e.l.f. quads. So I will show you the e.l.f. ones next, so I can like reference them together. But this is such a gorgeous, gorgeous little palette. Then I have this one here, which these are just slightly bigger pans than these. As you can see, still a 5pan palette. This is the Peak eyeshadow palette. I really like this one. I got this one in a BoxyCharm, I believe, or Boxy Luxe. I love this creamy one on the end. This is such a nice transition shade, and this shimmer shade on the other end is gorgeous. Again, I love the eyeshadow. I think the formulations of these mini palettes are a little bit better than their bigger palettes. So you guys check it out. Tell me what you think. Here is one of my newest Natasha Denona palettes. My kids actually got me this one for Christmas. So exciting. And this is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. As you can see, I've already started using it. It is so beautiful. There are such beautiful little warm neutral shades in this palette, plus all those beautiful glitters or shimmers are very, very stunning on the eye. This is a great buy. If you want to buy any Natasha Denona palette, I would buy this one. This one, I think you get a lot of bang for your buck because you can do so many different looks with it. This is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, and this is a great little summer into fall type of palette. You see there's a lot of like warm shades in this. You got some yellows, some corally colors, some rosy shades, some beautiful shimmers. This is a really nice palette, I think, for the summertime. I usually will wear these shades more so in the summertime, but it is a great little going into the fall type of palette as well. It makes these $3 quads. This one still has a sticker on it because I just got it, but this is the rose water one, and then I have pumpkin pie, and then I have the cream and sugar one. As you can see, I use cream and sugar all the time. As you can see, these two e.l.f. palettes and this Natasha Denona palette have very, very similar colors to them. This one costs a lot more money than obviously these ones. These are $3 palettes. This is over $20. So I don't know, you guys, they're both very well made. The formulations are very, very nice. It all depends on whether you want to say you have a Natasha Denona palette or e.l.f. I don't care either way, but I do think there's a lot of similarities to these palettes here. And these are a fraction of the price, and they're just as good. This is the Cinema Secret Smoky Collection. And here is that. Isn't it pretty? I really like the Cinema Secrets brand. I use the brush cleaner that they have all the time. I think it's just a great brush cleaner. I haven't really dipped into the makeup too much, so this is like the first palette I've ever bought to use as makeup. I usually just use their brush cleaner, so I'm really excited to give this a try. This is brand new. I haven't really tried it out yet, but I'm really excited to do that. Next up are these Lawless palettes, and these are the Lawless, the One Little palette, and Lawless, the One Baby palette. And the first one I'm going to show you is this one. This is a great little nude, warm nude palette, and it's wonderful, again, for traveling. You can create many, many different looks. I love how this eyeshadow looks and blends out on my eye. These are just cute little palettes, and I don't think they get enough recognition because they really are wonderful. And here is the Lawless little or baby one, baby. And this is just more of like a pink tone, like rosy, light neutral shades. There are some little shimmer shades over here that are really nice on the eyes. Again, I really love traveling with these because I can create a lot of nice natural neutral looks with them. And I just think for the price, these are very well made palettes. I'm going to show you my ABH palettes. That's Anastasia Beverly Hills. I did just get these palettes. They've been on my wish list for a very long time. So obviously they're not new palettes by any means, but they're new to me. The Riviera palette, these are the ones also that my husband got me for Christmas. So I have the Riviera palette. I'm so excited to play with this. Isn't it beautiful? Like, I just love this color story. I don't know. The packaging drew to me, the color story drew to me, and I had to put this on my wish list. So I'm so excited I finally have this one. The next one up is another one that I'm so excited that I got. My husband bought me this for Christmas as well. This is the Modern Renaissance palette, and we all know how wonderful this palette is. And I don't really even need to say a whole lot about it. We just know it's like a really badass palette. So that is the Modern Renaissance palette. And then I have the Soft Glam palette, which is another one of my really favorite palettes. I just, you know, I'm always drawn to like neutral palettes too. I don't know what it is. I just love neutral colors. So that is the Soft Glam palette. Next up are my Naked palette. So Urban Decay Naked palettes. Again, here is the Mini Naked Heat palette. And I'm so glad I got the Mini Naked Heat palette, because I really only like these shades out of the palette. So I was really glad that they had the shades that I really love in the palette, in the mini version of this palette, because this is really all that I wanted. So that is my Naked Heat mini palette. I wish they made mini versions of all the Naked palettes, because I probably would have purchased all of them, but this is my Naked Heat one. This is one that was given to me as a gift a long time ago. This is my Naked Cherry palette. As you can see, I use it a lot. I love these shades. They're so gorgeous. I really don't need to talk too much about these palettes because we all know and are very well aware of how great these Naked palettes are. So the next one up, and I did just get this one for Christmas. My best friend bought me this palette. She knows that I love, love, love purple, and I'm so excited to play with this. I know this palette is not new, but one thing I do really like about this palette, and what drew me to this palette, is this first set of colors right here. You can totally create like a day, like nudie type look, and then at night add a little bit of color. Like, I just love that. There's so much you can do with this palette. And so many different looks that you can create. And you can actually, I would totally just take this palette on a vacation with me and create a bunch of different looks. So I really like that about this specific Naked palette. This is the Naked Ultraviolet palette. And plus, don't you guys love the packaging? It's so pretty. Okay, next one, and this one I purchased myself recently because this has been on my wish list for a long time. This is Naked Honey palette, and look at those pretty colors. Beautiful nude shades, some yellows in there. It is just a very, very unique palette, and I know people are like, oh, well, Colourpop makes the Honey palette. The Honey palette and this one are very, very different. Okay, so here is the Honey palette next to the Naked Honey palette. Honey has brighter shades. They're much brighter shades, where the Naked Honey are a little bit more toned down and kind of like neutral yellowy shades. So these are completely different. So when someone tells you, hey, Colourpop has one just as good, well, they do, but it is completely different tones of the eyeshadow. So I really think both of these are excellent purchases. Next up are these palettes, and I'm going to talk about them really quick because I don't think they make them anymore, but I keep them because I just love them. These are the Stila, and this one is the Happy Hour palette, and you can see why I love them. Beautiful blue shades. I love the little purple and pink in this, like, This is a green shade. It looks kind of blue on my camera, but it is a green shade. It's so pretty on the eyes. I don't think they make these palettes anymore. They are kind of a bulkier palette, and they're okay to travel with, but I just don't think they make them anymore, so I don't really want to talk about them too much. But here is the After Hours palette. I love these Stila palettes. These are two of my favorite palettes, even though you can't really buy them anymore. They are a wonderful palette to have. So now we're gonna go into this pile right here. This is the Odin's Eye Freya palette, and if you haven't heard of Odin's Eye, check it out. It is, they're not sold in the US, they are abroad, so it does take a little bit to get these shipped to you. But this is the Freya palette, and like this brand has such great little eyeshadows. I really am enjoying this palette. I think this color story is beautiful, very well made, and not expensive. So check out Odin's Eye. I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised. Another one is this Tarte palette, and this is the Tarte Busy Gal Goals palette. Oh, this is the Tarte Busy Gals Goals palette, and this is what it looks like. I mean, it's not super exciting, but it does have some pretty shades in it, and I'm going to keep it. I'm not a huge fan of Tarte, but I do like this palette. Next up, and I know I've talked about these ones already in a favorite colorful palette, these are my BH Cosmetics Sweet Shot palettes. Here is the Orange Sherbet, and I have the cherry one, cherry on top, gorgeous, oh my god, I love these palettes. And of course, the blue one, which is Bubblegum. Look at those. This is what I mean. I can get these shades are very similar to the ones in my Jeffree Star palette, so I don't know. Maybe I'll declutter it. I don't know, but this is very easy to travel with. You know, these are accent palettes, but they are so fun to have. I do believe BH Cosmetics still makes these. They might not, so I'm sorry if they don't, but those were some great palettes. Now this one I know BH Cosmetics doesn't make anymore. This is the Aurora Lights palette, and these are just a bunch of beautiful shimmer shades. I absolutely love this palette. I will never get rid of it because these are so beautiful, and I use this palette a lot when creating my Halloween looks. Another one of my favorites, and I don't know, again, I don't know if they make this one still, but this is the Opalescent palette. It's a nude palette by BH Cosmetics. Let me get that in the camera. But it has a lot of beautiful shades. You can see I'm hitting pan on a few of them. But there's a lot of beautiful neutral shades. You got a little bit of pop of color in here. This is a really nice palette, and BH Cosmetics makes some beautiful eyeshadows. The next one I'm going to show you is this one. I put it in my declutter video, and I think I might have said I was going to declutter it, but then I changed my mind. I wanted to give it a try. As you can see, I still haven't even given it a try, but I do really like this shade, this red shade down here. I don't know. I might still declutter it, give it away to someone who might use it. But I don't know. I took a second look at it. I wanted to keep it, and I'm still debating on whether I want to keep this one or not. But that is the Manu MUA Morphe palette. So next Morphe palette is this one. This is the Jaclyn Hill Original palette. So this is her first palette that she came out with. This is, I bought this palette when it first came out. I didn't buy a second, third, or 10th batch, I don't know, where people are complaining about it. I have the original maybe I should show you this. I have the original formulation. This palette is awesome. As you can see, it's very well loved. I use it a lot. I think this is a great, great palette, regardless of who made it, but I do think this is a fabulous palette, and I know that there's been a lot of controversy over her palettes with the formulation not being the same, but I was able to purchase this palette right when it came out. The next one is a newer one of my Morphe palettes. One of the things I really like about this is they're going back to the plastic casings, because I just think that this cardboard casing gets ruined a lot quicker and gets beat up a lot more than the plastic. So when Morphe first came out, this was the only type of packaging they had. It was all this like plastic packaging. This is the 35C Everyday Chic palette. Ooh, let me get in the camera. 35C everyday chic palette. This is a really cool palette. I love these greens. These greens are beautiful. These pinks are gorgeous on the eye. It's a very vibrant palette and it really shows up well on your eye. I love this palette. I don't have a whole lot of Morphe stuff anymore just because I think there's other brands that are a little bit better quality than Morphe, but I do love these few Morphe palettes that I've shown you other than that Manny MUA one. Another great Morphe palette is this one. It's the James Charles palette. Now the James Charles palettes are a little bit different than other palettes. These are more of pressed pigments, so you got to be really careful when using them. You really just want to pack them on instead of blending them out right away because they're pressed pigments, they work a little differently than other eyeshadows. So just be aware of that. But this is a beautiful palette. I love the colors. I love everything about it. The next one I want to show you is this one. This is one of my favorite neutral palettes. This is the Too Faced Just Peachy palette. It is a gorgeous warm toned neutral palette and it does smell like peaches, so that's an added bonus. I really like that about it. But these are just beautiful matte shades. So if you want an all matte palette that is neutral, this is the palette that you should buy. I really do love it and I do believe they still sell it. My Inglot palette, and I bought these shades. I made this palette myself. It was just an empty palette and you bought the shades that go in it. So these are the shades that I chose. This is one of the very first high-end palettes that I purchased, so I might not use this much anymore, but it has some sentimental value to me, so I keep it. Next one up is this Violet Voss Essentials 2 palette. I haven't really used this one. I don't think I've used it at all actually, but it's really pretty and I keep thinking I'm going to use it. I might actually declutter this one, but it is very pretty, isn't it? And here is a palette that a girlfriend of mine gave me. It is the Clinique All About Shadow palette, and this is really pretty. Some pretty neutral shades. You can create a lot of little looks with this. I just think it's a beautiful palette and I was really excited when I got it. Okay, moving along. Here is the Sugar Rush palette. I really like this one. It has a lot of great little summery colors in it. It blends out really nice. I really love it. These are some beautiful colors. And you know what, I don't even know if they make this one anymore. They might not make it, but it was a big deal when it first came out. There is one I'm probably going to declutter, but I really did like it when I used it. This is the Pretty Rich palette by Too Faced. See, it's some really pretty colors in it. And as you can see, I have used it quite a bit. And I do really love it, and I just thought that these shades were really pretty and they blend out well. It was a great little palette. As you can see, the casing is bulky. That's partly why I don't use it a lot, is because it is just like, it's kind of bulky and difficult to travel with. So, but it is a pretty palette. Going on to my Ciate London palettes. I really love these two palettes. This is the New England palette. And as you can see, gorgeous shades, so pretty. How do you not love this? I think these two palettes that I'm showing you are very well made. I don't normally use a whole lot of Ciate products, but I do really love these two palettes that I'm showing you right now. And this one is the Tulum palette, and as you can see, this gives me a lot of Huda Beauty, the Nudes palette vibes. And I love all of these shades. This beautiful coral shade is so pretty. And then you got this beautiful like rosy, deep rose color shade. And all of these shimmers are gorgeous. I absolutely love this palette. Again, it is the Ciate London Tulum palette. Into our last batch of palettes. Oh my gosh, I know I'm crazy. I have way too many. This one I'm gonna show you is, I created this palette. It was this was a blank palette, and I just chose those shades that are in it. These shades I use a lot when I'm doing makeup on other people because they're just beautiful neutral shades, and you can create many different looks with these. So these were just individual pans that I purchased and I put in this magnetic case from Makeup Geek. No, this palette here, I love this palette. This is Hip Dot and it is their Zion palette. And let me show you the inside of this. Boom, isn't that gorgeous? I got this in a BoxyCharm box and I'm really excited that I got it because I really love this brand. I think this brand needs more recognition. Beautiful shadows, very well made, very blendable, all that jazz. And look how cool this packaging is. I really like this one. Next are Zoeva, and Zoeva makes some really cool palettes as well. And this is the Blanc Fusion palette. Nice, kind of cool tone almost, shades. You got that pop of yellow right there. That is really cool, like little mustardy color. I really love this palette. This is one of my favorite Zoeva palettes. Again, a brand that I think needs more recognition. I think they make great eyeshadow and I hope to see more from them in the future. So here is probably my most expensive palette. This is my Marc Jacobs, and this is the Electric palette. Here is what the inside looks like. It's so pretty. I love these shimmer shades. They are gorgeous on the eyelid. As you can see, I use this palette quite often. Another Zoeva palette, and this is the Zoeva Glam All Night Long palette. Here's what that one looks like. It is a warm tone neutral palette. You got a little bit of a pop of yellow down there. You got this little pinky shimmer shade up over here. Got some corals. This is another really nice palette. I do highly recommend this one. I think it's great. Again, I love thin palettes that are easy to travel with. This one is by a company called Focalure, and I bought this after watching somebody on YouTube use it, and this is the only palette that I own of this brand. I don't know if I recommend it a lot. It takes a very, very long time for you to get this because it is an overseas brand, and I just think you can get these colors in other brands that and it's a little bit better quality. Now here is my Lorac Pro Mega 3 palette. My husband bought me this one, so it does have some sentimental value to it. I must have had this on a wish list way back in the day when I first started playing with makeup and it must have been discontinued and then it came back in stock, so he purchased it. So I really do like it. I don't play with it too much, but I do really think that was sweet that he got this for me because it was on my wish list. And then of course my Tarte Beauty palette. I don't need to talk too much about this one. Everyone knows Tarte Beauty's eyeshadow palette. I am giving a brand new one of these away in a giveaway once I reach 1,000 subscribers. I am 5 away from 1,000. So once that 1,000 hits, I'm going to be doing a giveaway, and I will show you at the end of this video, give you like a little sneak peek of what I am giving away for that giveaway, because I am going to be doing just more than just this one palette. Next, the last two actually are from Bperfect. This is the Clientele palette by Ja. Ja is a YouTuber. I absolutely love her. She does beautiful makeup looks. Check her out. I think you will be very, very happy. This is her palette, and it is just, I can't say enough good things about it. It's one of my very, 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 very favorite palettes. They're just, it's beautiful, well made. Bperfect Cosmetics is not in the US, so it does take a little bit for these palettes to come to you, but totally worth the money, and highly recommend these. Here is another Bperfect Carnival Pro palettes. And here are all these gorgeous, gorgeous shades. My camera isn't doing these shades justice because like these are red down here, like a deep red. And that orange kind of looks a little lighter. They're much more vibrant than what it is showing up in my camera right now, which kind of makes me sad. But like this yellow is totally like boom, right in your face, almost neon. This is a great little palette. Obviously you can see there's some nudes, there's colors, there's like shimmer shades. There's a lot going on here. Totally worth every penny. I absolutely adore this palette. Okay guys, here is a little sneak peek of the things that I'm going to be giving away in my giveaway once I hit 1,000 subscribers. So we have some masks here. There's a toner, there's a little roller thing for your face, there's some more skincare products, and then we have palettes. There's your Huda Beauty, there's a Ciate London, there is the Eloise the Queen. This is a contour palette that I love, and I did mention this brand in one of my videos, and then a brand new Hip Dot palette. So here is, again, everything that I'm giving away in my giveaway once I reach 1,000 subscribers. That is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, as well as a notification bell next to it, because I'm only 5 away from getting 1,000 subscribers. And I do want to thank that everyone who has already subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really enjoy doing these videos, and I'm really glad that you enjoy them as well. So thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.